Did you know that 90% of startups fail within the first 5 years? And yet, millions of people still dream of starting their own business. But here's the shocking part. Most will never even take the first step. Why? Because they're stuck in a cycle of doubt, fear, and bad habits. In this video, we're going to break down the strategies that the 1% of entrepreneurs use to get ahead. These are the habits, mindsets, and secrets that put them on the fast track to success, while most people stay stuck. And no, it's not about working harder or having more luck. It's about thinking differently, using your time wisely, and positioning yourself like the top players in your field. You'll learn how to unlock the secret sauce of successful entrepreneurs, build habits that separate you from the crowd, and embrace adaptability to grow faster than ever. Get ready for some surprising facts and insights that will change the way you approach entrepreneurship. Stick around, because what you learn here might just be the edge you need to get ahead of 99% of people. Let's dive in. Chapter 1. Unlocking the secret sauce. Why most people fail before they even start. The truth is, most people fail at entrepreneurship before they even take their first step. Why? It's all about mindset. According to a study by Harvard Business Review, 65% of entrepreneurs cite fear of failure as the #1 obstacle that holds them back. If you want to succeed, the first thing you need to do is reframe your thinking. Successful entrepreneurs view failure as a lesson, not a setback. It's also important to realize that a lack of clarity is another common reason for failure. A survey from the Small Business Administration found that 25% of new businesses close because they lack a clear vision. Entrepreneurs who succeed know exactly what they want and have a roadmap to get there. But don't be fooled into thinking that success happens overnight. A study from the National Bureau of Economic Research found that the average entrepreneur doesn't see a profit until their 3rd year in business. So, patience is key. Instead of rushing toward results, focus on learning from every step. Remember, every misstep is simply part of the journey. Another essential element is the ability to manage fear and self-doubt. A book by Tim Ferriss, The 4-Hour Workweek, talks about fear setting as a way to analyze and minimize potential risks. By writing down worst-case scenarios, you'll often realize that your fears aren't as harmful as you thought. Taking calculated risks is what will propel you forward. Lastly, entrepreneurs who succeed know that self-discipline is non-negotiable. According to a study from the American Psychological Association, self-control is a stronger predictor of success than talent or intelligence. Building habits that nurture this discipline, like setting goals and sticking to them, will give you the edge. Chapter 2. The 1% habits that separate dreamers from doers. It's no secret that successful entrepreneurs don't waste time. But what do they do differently? Let's break down the habits that separate dreamers from doers. First, morning routines are key. According to The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod, 92% of highly successful people wake up at least an hour earlier than the average person. Whether it's meditation, reading, or exercise, this time is sacred. It sets the tone for the entire day. One of the most powerful habits successful entrepreneurs practice is time blocking. Elon Musk is known for dividing his day into 5-minute blocks. He calls this method hard scheduling and credits it for helping him manage his time effectively. By dedicating specific blocks of time to tasks, you eliminate distractions and ensure maximum focus. Next, let's talk about the importance of learning. In his book Tools of Titans, Tim Ferriss shares how successful people never stop growing. Entrepreneurs like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett devote hours each week to reading. In fact, Gates reads around 50 books a year, while Buffett spends up to 80% of his day reading. Networking is another essential habit. It's not just about making contacts but about nurturing relationships. Richard Branson, the founder of Virgin Group, says that his best business opportunities came from personal connections, not cold calls. Building a network of trusted advisors and peers can open doors that you never knew existed. Finally, successful entrepreneurs make time for their health. Research shows that entrepreneurs are 2.5 times more likely to suffer from burnout than other workers. That's why physical fitness is crucial. Exercise boosts energy, reduces stress, and sharpens your focus. Top entrepreneurs like Mark Zuckerberg make fitness a priority to stay sharp. Chapter 3. No plan. No problem. Embracing adaptability in the entrepreneurial game. Most people think that having a rigid business plan is the secret to success. But the top 1% of entrepreneurs know better. They embrace adaptability as their superpower. The world is changing faster than ever, and in the digital age, staying flexible is more important than sticking to a fixed plan. Take the case of Instagram. It started as a check-in app called Bourbon, but its founders realized the potential of photo sharing and pivoted quickly. That decision turned Instagram into the multi-billion-dollar company it is today. Another great example is Netflix. Reed Hastings didn't start Netflix with a vision of dominating streaming. Initially, it was a DVD rental service. But as technology changed, Netflix adapted and became the leader in digital streaming. According to The Innovator's Dilemma by Clayton Christensen, the best companies don't just innovate, they adapt quickly to market demands. Research also backs up the importance of adaptability. A 2019 study from McKinsey found that 70% of successful transformations in business were due to companies' ability to adapt to changes in their industry. If you're too attached to a specific plan, you could miss opportunities or fail to respond when things go wrong. Flexibility doesn't mean throwing away your vision. It means being open to change and adjusting your tactics when necessary. Richard Branson, for instance, didn't launch Virgin Galactic as a space company overnight. He kept testing and tweaking until he found the right formula. Lastly, embracing adaptability means embracing failure. Jeff Bezos, in his famous letter to Amazon shareholders, said, "If you're not failing, you're not innovating enough." For top entrepreneurs, failing fast and learning quickly is often the key to eventual success. So, don't be afraid to pivot when needed. Your ability to adapt will separate you from 99% of the crowd. If you're enjoying these strategies, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more tips on how to become a top 1% entrepreneur. Chapter 4. Time Hacks of the Elite. How to win the race without competing. Time is the ultimate currency in entrepreneurship, and the elite know how to make it work for them. The most successful entrepreneurs aren't just busy, they're productive. One of the best ways to leverage time is through automation. For example, Amazon's Jeff Bezos attributes much of his success to the ability to automate mundane tasks. He delegates as much as possible, allowing him to focus on big-picture decisions. A study by McKinsey found that businesses that leverage automation grow 10–30% faster than their competitors. If you're handling routine tasks yourself, you're wasting valuable time. Start with tools like email automation or project management systems to streamline your operations. These tools allow you to free up time for more strategic thinking and creative work. Another key time hack is outsourcing. According to the E-Myth revisited by Michael E. Gerber, many entrepreneurs fail because they try to do everything themselves. Instead, focus on tasks that directly contribute to growth. Outsource things like bookkeeping, graphic design, and even customer support. Platforms like Upwork and Fiverr make it easier than ever to find experts to handle the work you don't need to do yourself. The power of prioritization is also essential. Warren Buffett once said, "The difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything." Learning to say no is crucial for staying focused on what truly matters. Time blocking helps here as well. By scheduling each task with intention, you eliminate the temptation of distractions. Lastly, successful entrepreneurs understand that taking breaks is just as important as working hard. A study by the University of California found that taking regular breaks can improve focus and productivity by 40%. Whether it's a short walk, a quick workout, or even a nap, giving yourself permission to recharge can make you more efficient in the long run. Chapter 5. The Power of Perception. How to position yourself as an industry leader in entrepreneurship. Perception is reality. How you position yourself in your industry can set you apart from the competition. The first step to establishing authority is to become a thought leader. According to Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson, people buy from those they trust. To earn trust, you need to showcase your expertise regularly. Start by sharing valuable insights, whether through blogging, social media, or public speaking. One of the best examples of this is Gary Vaynerchuk. He started by offering free advice on wine, but over time, he built a personal brand that's now synonymous with entrepreneurship. He created a reputation for delivering value without expecting anything in return, and that helped him grow his empire. A unique way to build authority is by creating niche communities. For instance, Tim Ferriss built his audience through his podcast, The Tim Ferriss Show, where he interviews top performers across various fields. His listeners see him as a bridge to knowledge, and that perception of him as an authority has been key to his success. Don't be afraid to be polarizing. Successful entrepreneurs know that standing for something will attract a loyal audience. In fact, research from Nielsen shows that 66% of consumers prefer brands that take a stand on social issues. If you don't stand out, you'll blend in with the competition. Don't be afraid to share your opinions, and don't worry about offending people. Those who resonate with your message will stick around. Branding is another key element of positioning. A great example is Apple. Steve Jobs didn't just sell products, he sold a lifestyle. His company became synonymous with innovation and design. Think about how you can make your brand reflect more than just your product or service. Create an experience that connects emotionally with your audience. Chapter 6. Breaking the Golden Rule. Why following the status quo is the fastest way to stay behind in entrepreneurship. Following the herd is a recipe for failure. The most successful entrepreneurs often break the golden rules that everyone else follows. The key is to think differently and take risks that others are afraid to take. Jeff Bezos once said, "If you double the number of experiments you do per year, you're going to double your inventiveness." One way to do this is by challenging traditional business models. For instance, Uber revolutionized the transportation industry by offering something completely different from traditional taxis. By thinking outside the box and disregarding the old system, Uber turned into a multi-billion-dollar business. Innovation isn't just about improving what's already there, it's about creating something that didn't exist before. A great strategy for breaking the status quo is to be the first to identify and capitalize on emerging trends. Look at how companies like Tesla and SpaceX have disrupted industries by being early adopters of electric vehicles and private space travel. By focusing on the future, these companies stayed ahead of the curve and are now leaders in their respective fields. Another way to break away from the status quo is by embracing failure. In his book 0 to 1, Peter Thiel argues that you should avoid following the crowd at all costs. Instead, try to build something unique, something that challenges the norm. Only by doing this can you create long-term, sustainable success. Taking the road less traveled might be risky, but it's the only way to achieve extraordinary results. Finally, realize that growth comes from discomfort. For instance, when Richard Branson started Virgin Airlines, he didn't follow the traditional airline industry rules. He aimed to offer better service, lower prices, and a unique experience, even though it went against everything the competition was doing. The risk paid off, and Virgin became an iconic brand. To succeed, you have to be willing to take risks that others aren't willing to take. Breaking the rules isn't about being reckless, it's about being intentional in your decisions. If you want to get ahead of 99% of people, you have to challenge the status quo and make bold moves. Play by your own rules, and success will follow. Thanks for watching. If you found these strategies helpful, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more tips on how to become part of the 1% and rise above the rest.